This is a story no one asked for, but I'm still going to bring it up and I'm going to link it to a lot of things like why you don't find many wildlife photographers in Africa or Nigeria specifically, despite how much variety or should I say diversity of wildlife we have. So, yeah, it may not be interesting, but just watch as much as you can. Someone chatted me up recently on Instagram. He's a Nigerian, and we've known for I think like 5 years. The chats have been scanty, just comment replies and stuff like that. But he's been someone that has admired my work and has told me a couple of times how he's inspired by my work. So I should stop using many arms. So he asked to speak with me via call and we exchanged contacts. So after a couple of attempts, because man, let's be honest, I don't like calls. It finally happened and we spoke. And he had this idea for an exhibition. And, I was just trying to get the specifics and why he wants to plan an exhibition with me and all that stuff. So, as we were talking, there was one point that he said something that struck me. And I don't know if he meant it in a good way or in a bad way, or if he's even aware of what he said, but I'll be honest, I think he was very much aware of it because he was trying to answer a question I asked him as to why me and why he decided to pick me instead of like, any other photographer out there in Nigeria. So here's how it went. And I'm not like saying exactly how he put it because I mean I did not record the call and I can't exactly quote him right now because that's just how my head works. He said that I inspired him to get into macro photography as well, but he stopped. He said, and I quote, but not exactly, I'm not a Nepo baby. I was doing macro with a phone. It was tough. I was in the university. I had bills to pay. So I stopped photography. And later on, when things started looking good again, I got back into it. But I was then doing portrait photography because that was what was selling. And yeah, that's fine. But the part that I found to be kind of harsh, and I don't know if I'm right to feel this way, because I'd never asked him if he was a Nepo baby, but it was about how he phrased it that to make it seem like why I kept doing macro wildlife photography was because I was a Nepo baby. Funny thing is, the exact situations he described, that is just what it was for me. I was doing macro wildlife with my phone. It was hard. I was in uni. I had bills to pay. And I'm definitely not a Nepo baby. But I did not stop. I mean, I'm stubbornly persistent at whatever I do. And I like to be very consistent regardless how hard it gets. I've been attacked while doing macro wildlife photography. I've had to go through several hurdles to be able to get a shot and all of that. But I've not stopped because of that. And I mean, there is no harm in anyone deciding to stop and do something else, but having to frame it that others kind of like had it better when these people put in so much work to get to where they are today that makes you come back, still admire their works and want to collaborate with them on something like an exhibition. I found it to be very, I don't know if I should say disrespectful, let's say disregarding of the effort that they put into all of this. And it goes to what I mean, I've always known that, yeah, a lot of humans are very poor at communication or how they kind of like word what they want to actually say. Yeah, I know it's hard to do macro photography, wildlife photography in a place like Nigeria. I mean, it's hard to do art in general in Nigeria, except unless you're a Nepo baby. But let's be honest, none of us were Nepo babies. So why does it make it seem like one person had it easier? That kind of brings me to this next story, which is going to lead us to the actual thing I want to say. So that was last month. That was in June. I got reached out to by an organization. They they just started and wanted to get more reach, and the first thing they want to do is host a photo competition for nature photographers in Nigeria. But before that, they had to kind of like advertise it, so they needed nature photographers that are already doing nature photography in Nigeria to kind of like post their shots and just give them shout out and all of that. So they didn't find a lot of people. I think I can count on one hand the number of nature photographers they found in the whole of Nigeria, and I still have fingers left. So one of the people they interviewed recommended me to them, and they reached out to me, and yeah, we got to speak and we discussed a lot. And the host, or should I say the hostess, yeah, because she, yeah, a female, she talked about how disappointed she was that she didn't find nature photographers in Nigeria. And trust me, I know why, and it's what I'm about to share with you why we don't have nature photographers in Nigeria. First off, it's hard, it's expensive, and it's everything you think it is: nature photography, wildlife photography, macro photography, all of that. And I'm going to get to why it kind of like disappoints me. I don't know if disappoint is the right word, because I mean, like, we have other African countries like South Africa and Kenya, and these are countries that are known for wildlife too, right? And it's still in Africa. I know somehow they have a better economy, and I shouldn't even be saying that, because how can they have a better economy than people that are called the giants of Africa? It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Sorry, I'm about to say that literally everything in this country sucks, but I don't want to say it here. I guess I've already said it. So yeah, okay, don't hold me responsible for that. So it's difficult doing that here, because first, the demand is low. People here don't conserve or like really care about animals. It's all about, hey, that's a snake, kill it. That's kind of like how we are. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not that way. I don't kill animals. I only kill mosquitoes and cockroaches. Those are the only two things I know I kill. Yeah. Other ones, I just take them outside. If I even see a spider in the room, I'm like, hey, it's cool, it's chill. I mean, I have frogs in my bathroom and I don't kill them. But believe me, any other person would literally kill them. It's that sad. I'm not saying you should keep frogs in your bathroom, by the way. So, thing is, I know it's hard, and people over here are really exposed to other genres of photography, specifically business genres of photography, like event photography, portrait photography. And aside the fact that this is what gives money, it's also the fact that this is what goes viral on the internet. Like, I'll be honest, if I had to photograph something not bugs or street, if I had to photograph humans, I'd have lots of followers than I do as I'm photographing bugs. I'm not saying I can't have extra followers as I'm photographing bugs, but it would be easier to get people to like, reshare my works, comment on it, and all of that. And okay, a little side note: 90% of my followers are foreigners, and that is great, to be honest. That is literally the best. But I could have had more Nigerian followers if I did a simple thing like photographing humans, and all I would have had to do would just make them expose a little skin. I'm not trying to generalize. I mean, every human likes that, but I'm being honest about, the kind of photography that sells most. Yeah. So if I did human photography and expose a little bit of skin, or maybe just go completely, yeah, I would have had extra followers, like excess followers, and man, I would have been very popular. But truth is, the kind of photography I do over here, it doesn't sell. And I know a lot of people that may want to do this. They're actually not doing it because they love it. Let's be honest. Passion plays a big role if you want to step into wildlife photography, because it's literally not going to pay you, at least directly, and you'll be spending money on it. It's more like a hobby than a business kind of photography. So if you don't love it, you can't do it. But there's this rosy part of it that usually happens at the beginning. where people think that it's very cool, and because of that they want to step into the genre as well, so they can be like, oh, I'm a nature photographer. I don't think I mimicked that right. Or, maybe at that stage where they just own a phone and they're trying out flowers and they love it. And probably at that stage, they're quite young and don't really have bills to pay. But as they keep getting advanced and older, people start telling them, discouraging them, not telling the people, plainly discourage them to not keep doing it. And that is what happens. That's why you will hardly find nature photographers over here. Before life stops them from doing it, they have been discouraged by so many people to stop doing it. Man, if I tell you the number of times and the number of people that have told me to stop doing macro wildlife photography, like, I shouldn't even say like years back, even like this month. You see, the first thing people will ask you when you tell them that, yeah, a macro wildlife photographer in Nigeria, is that, how much does it pay you? Do you make money from it? Literally, I mean, like, this is the only thing that crosses your mind when I tell you I do macro wildlife photography. I mean, you don't think if I have a degree or another job or any other thing, you just, how much does it pay you? And it's very embarrassing, to be honest. Funny thing is, while it does not pay directly, there are so many ways you can monetize macro wildlife photography, even in Nigeria. Yes, there are, and yeah, this is one of the ways. I mean, by creating content on YouTube, right? And you don't even need to wait for YouTube monetization. Through brand deals and collaborations, there are several ways you can make money with it to keep pushing till you get to the point you want. And there's no harm in having a side job. I mean, literally everyone does that. Even people that are doing macro wildlife photography abroad, they have an actual job. But the thing is that in Nigeria, literally everything one does, and I guess this is the 20th time I'm using literally in this video, literally everything one does, it has to bring money instantly. And that is not a very good mindset, or should I say perspective. It's one of the things that hinder or does not allow many people to step into wildlife photography in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And I know there are so many reasons that, yeah, people do not get into it, like the risk involved, the fact that it's hard to assess. But in Africa, we are so blessed that even in your backyard, you can find things to photograph till maybe you get to a point whereby you need to be traveling and all of that. So there are so many reasons. If I have to maybe want to do an entire, or say a complete video about why people are not doing it, but these are just like the little truth that make people not to go into wildlife photography in Nigeria or Africa as a whole. And it's very discouraging, to be honest. Yeah, it is. So this is like a very headless video, and the problem with these kind of videos for like my channel right now is that I have to think of the thumbnail, which I really don't know how it's going to be. So I just need people to trust the video and just click on it, and I don't think that really works. So I'm David Joseph at ABCD David, macro wildlife photographer based in Nigeria, and it's very freaking difficult doing this over here, but yeah, I do it because I love it. So yeah, that's why I do it. But I still hope one day I get to try out, just go out to somewhere better, somewhere that people really appreciate the bugs, the nature, the wildlife, the diversity, all of that. Thinking Australia. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much. And if you enjoy content like this, don't fail to subscribe. I don't rant about wildlife all the time. I actually give useful tips, make actual good videos. So you can subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, you can, not just the channel but me, so I keep doing wildlife photography. You can always donate a coffee via the buy me a coffee link in the description. Thank you so much. Bye.